Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Global Retail Conference 2025 presented by WeSave, a transformative platform shaping the future of global retail and e-commerce. As one of the largest and most influential initiatives in industry, Global Retail brings together visionary leaders to address the forces transforming retail: technological innovation, sustainability, and evolving consumer expectations. Over this past week, we've been exploring groundbreaking ideas, actionable strategies, and leadership insights that redefine commerce. It's more than a conference, it's been a call to action, to lead with purpose, collaborate effectively, drive meaningful impact, and build community. So, welcome again to the Global Retail Conference presented by WeSaves. Joining us up next, exciting conversation, exciting talk, Samuel Jansen, Chief Strategy Officer for Kira Diamonds. And he's the topic here in his presentation this afternoon is disruption in the diamond industry. And he's joining us from Charlotte, North Carolina. Sam, welcome. Good afternoon. Look forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you for having me go the Global Retail Conference. I'm happy to be here. So yes, as Glenn was saying, I'm going to speak about the disruption in the diamond industry. It carries forward into the retail side of the business of understanding how disruption happened in the diamond industry. Adapting to change and building long-term strategy can effectively help different retailers position themselves when disruption happens in the retail sector. Just to do an introduction of disruption, defining disruption in the luxury market. Disruption as a luxury market occurs when new technology, trends, or business models redefine consumers' expectations, often making traditional approaches less relevant or sustainable. Impacts not embracing disruption: loss of market share, erosion of brand value, revenue declines, and missed opportunities. This is an overlay of just luxury market and disruption that can happen and things that can happen that disrupt if you don't actually impact and embrace disruption in the marketplace. The key focus that we're looking on here is diamonds in the diamond industry. What happened in the diamond industry in 2015 was lab-grown diamonds. Actually, lab-grown diamonds have been in circulation since the 1940s. One of the largest lab-grown diamond producers in the world was a subsidiary of De Beers. They actually produced lab-grown diamonds, HPH diamonds, for GE Medical, for medical devices, using those devices, the diamonds, to produce such as things for ultrasound machines, different scapulas, things of that nature to help GE in the medical fields. In 2015, a new technology came to the market called CVD, carbon vapor deposition. This new technology actually created diamonds in a different way, more organically grown, just like diamonds that were produced or made by Mother Nature thousands of years ago. This just reproduced that common growth process, which is creating by using heat, and different gases such as methane and oxygen in a chamber, perfectly controlled at a laboratory. In 2015, it became attractable to 2020. This is when it started to set standards in industries. Now, what made lab-grown diamonds become even a more disruptor is different elements inside this that I said created the perfect storm. Gold prices in 2020 went up and up in price, and obviously with the jewelry and diamond industry, one factor of diamonds mined or lab grown was gold, that we put our diamonds into these jewelry pieces. Different suppliers, wholesalers, and retailers were looking for an effective way to actually hit a price point here in the United States, as in the United States, what we call is bucket list pricing for product. We know when consumers are looking to be attractable or purchase an item such as a 1-carat diamond ring, there's a price point that they'd like to hit. Therefore, we started putting lab-grown diamonds inside these gold pieces to make them more attractable to the consumers at a price point. Now, another factor that actually made lab-grown diamonds increase in, not increase in value, but more increase in popularity was COVID-19. COVID-19, at that time was very scary. But what we found out, we had record sales during these times. The reason being is a lot of people had more access income because they weren't doing traveling. So a lot of people were spending more and more money on jewelry, making it more educational. Lab-grown diamonds become more educational to the consumer, therefore purchasing more diamonds. But this also became a factor that was actually a negative as well, because it actually during that time of actually having more jewelry sales, there's less and less people actually purchasing diamonds, making it harder on the industry as less and less people were getting together or getting met, forcing a driver to make people get married less and less or longer term out there in the marketplace. So they say in the next 2 to 3 years, people from COVID will start getting married. So that was another thing that actually happened in the marketplace to make the perfect storm of the diamonds less effective or less purchasing at that time. Another factor, the fourth factor that really affected the diamond industry and disruptor was Russian diamond ban. In 2020, the G7 summit banned all mined diamonds in the marketplace. This took a positive effect in lab-grown diamonds, making as Russian diamonds, as consumers couldn't tell the difference between Russian diamonds and other diamonds from different countries that mined, they made lab-grown diamonds more attractable. Also, Russia was the largest per volume of mined diamonds in the world, and those not being entering the largest consumer country, the United States, of diamonds. This made an alternative to lab-grown diamonds even more effective, making lab-grown diamonds, the go-to for any engagement jewelry piece today. So I thought it'd be good to just explain a little bit about mined diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. The FTC regulated a couple of years ago, a diamond is a diamond, no matter if it's mined or lab-grown. Now, why is this? Because if you look at the properties of an earth mined diamond and a lab-grown diamond, they're pretty much close to being the same. Physically, optically, and symmetrically, they look the same. They have the same elements, and symmetrically, how they perform in the sparkle or the viewing are the same. Some attractive points that actually help lab-grown diamonds are, if you look at the purity of the diamond, only 2% of earth diamonds are type 2A, a very rare diamond, while most lab-grown diamonds are actually type 2A diamonds, making them more effectively to be able to produce in different colors as well. The 2% of type 2A diamonds, such as blue diamonds, red diamonds, yellow diamonds, are type 2A. Lab-grown diamonds can be produced in all different colors and shapes as well. When you walk into a market, again, this is another reason why disruption happens into the retail marketplace. When you walk into a jewelry or a department store and look for diamonds, you can't tell the difference between lab-grown diamonds and mined diamonds in the retail store. The only way to really tell the difference is the diamonds are girdle engraved with an inscription of lab-grown or mined with different certifications of these diamonds. Even a trained eye such as myself, without the proper equipment that are in laboratories or in some jeweler stores where you have to put in the actual piece into the machine, that's the only way to tell the difference. So consumers, when they're purchasing a diamond and they're looking side by side of a mined diamond, a lab-grown diamond, the big difference is in price. When we started producing diamonds, in the early 2015 to 2016, the difference in price of lab-grown diamonds to mined diamonds was about 30%. Now, in today's time, with technology as it advanced, it's anywhere from 80 to 90% of the price tag, making it more affordable and attractable to these consumers, as even a mined lover of diamonds can actually buy lab-grown diamonds and wear them where people can't tell the difference between if it's a lab-grown diamond or a mined diamond. Before I started, I thought it'd be good to understand the process of how a diamond's grown. So I made a video to actually explain how it goes. So just to let you know, a diamond actually started as a seed. Now, the first diamond without mined diamonds, there would be no lab-grown diamonds. Why I say this is seed of a lab-grown diamond had to be produced by a mined diamond to start. Now, with these seeds over the years, we actually produce our own seeds of lab-grown diamonds from our production and actually slice them and make our own seeds and put them into the chambers to grow diamond on diamond. So this video will explain a little bit, and I'll walk through the process of how it actually works. So you start with a diamond seed and you put it inside a chamber that holds zero oxygen, and it's a chamber that holds all the heat conductivity. It's about as hot as the sun. In the early days, it took about 30 days to grow a 1 carat diamond. As technology increased, we can get down to a couple of days to grow a 1 carat diamond. Again, creating a disruption in the price as it goes lower and lower with technology. Now, if you look at this point right here, as the diamond is actually produced, so as the chamber is filled with heat about as hot as the sun, the oxygen, the methane are introduced with the carbon, which is the diamond seed. It actually grows on layers of a diamond as a diamond. At this point right here is lasered. The same artisans that mine diamonds and lab-grown diamonds do the same thing. They actually pre-form the diamonds in the shapes of an oval, round, marquise diamond. And at that point, they put it on a wheel and actually facet the diamonds into the shape and polish to get the actual sparkle of the diamond. After they're formed and shaped and cut, they're sent to laboratories, the same laboratories that mine diamonds and lab-grown diamonds are sent to get a certification on what the color, clarity, cut, and carat weight are. Industry disruption of lab-grown diamonds. The pros of the disruption: increased sales. Oh, sorry about that. Innovation and fresh look. So over the years, as it became more attractable as a price point, it made a consumer more attractable by volume to actually afford diamonds, making people buy more and more diamonds because of the price and value of the price of the diamonds. Innovation and fresh look. With mined diamonds, pieces of jewelry were made around the diamonds. With lab-grown diamonds, as the price decreased, people started making more unique jewelry and fitting these diamonds and cutting these diamonds to those pieces of jewelry, making them more three-dimensional, making them bigger, making them look and appear better than mined diamond pieces of jewelry, because you are building the piece around, you're building the design of the piece around first, and then adding the diamonds and cutting the diamonds to that piece. Obviously, the price of the diamonds decreased from 30% to 90%, making it attractable for everybody in the world to want and love diamonds. Early product adapters. This, what I like to call is this, where lab-grown diamonds positioned or is positioned in the marketplace is, I always said on a scale of 1 to 10. A 1, 2, and 3 was always costume jewelry, and 8, 9, 10 was always mined diamonds. As a consumer started wearing costume jewelry at an early age to replicate their mother who's wearing those mined diamonds, it took years for them to get to the point of buying mined diamonds because there was nothing in the middle to complement the mined diamonds. So I always said that lab-grown diamonds would fit perfectly as a 4, 5, 6, 7 to actually complement, or a stepping stone to mined diamonds, to be more attractable to step up to a mined diamond. And that's why today we're seeing more and more lab-grown diamonds purchased. The market actually has shifted towards people purchasing more lab-grown diamonds than mined diamonds because they're wearing them in different accessories and in everyday use, unlike mined diamonds where they wear for special occasions, such as black tie events. The cons, obviously, of the disruption in the industry for the lab-grown diamonds: price erosion, as I said in the past. It started about 30% difference to the mined diamond. In today's time, it's about 90% difference in price. Declining revenues. This becomes a big problem for retailers as prices of diamonds went down, so did their total revenue. So now what happens here with the disruption of having a product where the overall ticket price went down, it makes revenues go down, making a retailer have to strive harder to gain more customers to get to the point of revenue they had from 5 years ago. In the wholesale market side of the business, it's about 6 or 7, you have to engage 6 or 7 more times with the customer to get to the same revenue you had from 5, 6 years ago, which is definitely harder to do, especially in jewelry, as consumers, like I said, as consumers only come buy jewelry once every occasion. I like to say, like I said, from their wedding day to their 5th anniversary to their 10th anniversary. So now retailers makes it harder for retailers to stay in business longer, as they have to carry on that loyal customer from 5 years to 10 years. They have to engage with more customers to get their total revenue up. Increased competition. Obviously, as prices decrease, it makes it valuable for other people that were smaller or even not in the industry to come in the industry and adapt to selling lab-grown diamonds because it's a price point where they can compete and sell to loyal customers. I even saw over the years that Best Buy Canada was selling lab-grown diamond jewelry because they knew at the price point that they were sold at, they could attract a loyal customer that was buying a TV at a price point because they had the eyes of the customer engaged on their platform. From here, retailers had to chase higher margins to gain that actual higher revenue or the same revenue they had from years ago. Now, with higher revenues and margins, it made it less attractive for retailers, brick and mortar retailers, leaving it open for .coms to lower their margins and increase business from brick and mortars. Like I said, is by chasing higher margins, you get less people coming in the store because they're shopping online at a cheaper price. So the traction, just to show the traction that's happened over the last 5 years, pre-2015, or actually last 10 years, pre-2015 to 2020, it was less than 20% of the market share. In 2020 to 2022, during the COVID years, it increased of only about 50% of the market. Now, this chart only relates to engagement rings, which is the most popular purchase of the consumer market in the United States. In today's time, from 2003 to present, it was about 70% of all lab-grown diamond, or sorry, 70% of all engagement rings purchased in the United States had a lab-grown diamond in as the center stone. I mean, obviously, this is a big disruptor to an industry, and you can tell from if you've been reading the news or have seen anything in the diamond industry, Anglo is up for sale. Anglo America, the largest mining company, is for sale currently, and one of the on their portfolio, the largest loss is De Beers, which is the diamond sector of the Anglo American Mining Company, which has been a loss for the last 5 years. They estimated to lose about $3 billion in the last every year. So why is this attractable? In the early stages, we did surveys, again, with another mining company that came in the industry. They wanted to enter the market and understand why the US consumer is buying diamonds. In this survey, they came up with three different things or three things that attracted a consumer: bigger, better, and cheaper. Bigger meaning bigger, larger stones, better meaning better quality, and cheaper meaning price. Now, as you can see with the traction of lab-grown diamonds actually have these three elements as a pro to why you should buy a lab-grown diamond. Statistically, who's buying these diamonds? Well, it's millennials and Gen Zs. Why are they doing it? Because of the sustainability eco side of the story behind these diamonds. Some people say that you can't use the eco-friendly sustainability of lab-grown diamonds because it's not proven, or these fossil fuels. But one thing that does attract to the consumers of millennials and Gen Zs are that there's no disruption of the earth while making lab-grown diamonds compared to the mine company, and therefore where the conflict comes in with Russian diamonds or third world countries that we've been hearing, about the conflict of diamond and the Kimberley process. Lab-grown diamonds don't carry that same tainted past of conflict in the stones. 2030, they say that the luxury market, about 70 to 80% of all luxury customers will become millennial Gen Zs. Therefore, the lab-grown sector of the market will increasingly gain because the consumer that we're attracting for lab-grown diamonds are these two millennials and Gen Zs. Now, what did the industry do so retailers and other industries can learn from the disruption of the diamond industry? They took a blind to change. The traditional diamond industry dismissed lab-grown diamonds. Still in today's time, the lab-grown and mined industry are constantly fighting against each other. They should have positioned this and stabilized the market and made it complemented the market instead of trying to fight the industry. The mine market always called lab-grown diamonds synthetic, and lab-grown diamonds always called mine diamonds conflict. Therefore, as an industry that's not one, becomes conflict, causing different stirs and causing different stories and no alignment in an industry. The generic gamble. A lot of these retailers, what they did with lab-grown diamonds, they saw an effective way to add more margin on these diamonds, therefore making it generic and not putting any brand positioning in the marketplace, uh, not putting ground where it left open for um, other .coms or other competitors that come in the marketplace and see eye to eye that the cut clarity, color, and carat weight's the same, therefore it's the same. So they're buying more generic product because people didn't invest into the branding side of the marketplace. Blurring the lines, apples to apples. Again, the industry went and compared them as the same, and that's setting the grounds of a stepping stone from lab-grown diamonds as the market went down in price, then to a stepping stone into mined diamonds, causing things to align as apples to apples without educating the consumer, which goes into my next point of lack of education and storytelling to differentiate the two. Therefore, the consumer sees them as the same. We didn't do a good job to complement the luxury market to show value in either of the markets to stabilize the market in today's time. That's why it's more of generic in the marketplace. Now, the company I work for, Kira's approach, they position a long-term strategy and positioning. So with Kira, they weren't the first one to adapt in the marketplace. Therefore, we're not adapting the first in the marketplace in a disruption such as technology. You don't want to be the first in the marketplace. You want to make sure that you enter the marketplace at the right time where you don't start as a loss. A lot of early adapters in lab-grown diamonds have gone bankrupt, or they have had negative sales over the years because they started when the technology was very new, or they started when prices were higher, therefore selling at a loss, or having technology that was obsolete to the new technology advancement of growing diamonds. Kira only started entering the marketplace about 3-4 years ago when they started growing. They actually entered the marketplace direct to wholesale only about 2 years ago, and entered the jewelry market under a year ago, therefore stabilizing their position as a global leader in the marketplace because they were able to sustain better profit margin going forward in today's time. They differentiate markets between lab-grown and mine-grown diamond. Being the largest lab-grown diamond produced in the world, they're also the biggest mined diamond company in the world as well. So they position them in different segmentations where they don't cross each other's paths, therefore meeting or guiding their consumers in a negative way. They've invested in B2B value chain. I like to say that Kira is like a De Beers or a mining company, but a grower, where they actually produce a lot of the diamonds and put them through the value chain of wholesalers, manufacturers, and retailers, distributing globally to all avenues and factors, got them to the position as a global leader faster and quicker because they went through the value chain instead of going directly to the consumer. Created premium experience for lab-grown diamonds. They've done this by doing certain things of sustainability, which I'll talk about in a couple slides farther up, to developing partnerships and campaigns with sustainable luxury percentages. So we've developed different partnerships, alliances over the years to help us gain control in the market instead of trying to conquer market shares. We've actually positioned and partnered with certain people. Lab-grown diamonds are used to gateway to luxury. Again, this is something that positioned. We didn't try to compete apples to apples. We positioned as different luxury items to different prospects. Instead of trying to make them fight against each other, we complemented them. Just to show little values of Kira of the integrity, sustainability, and innovation with customers. We really rely on our integrity, sustainability, innovation, and customer relationships with our customers. Those are the 4 values that we see in carrying forward to our customers to make sure that the back end supports the front end. Just for the sustainability, just to give you an overhead of why we're one of the largest growers and manufacturers of lab-grown diamonds. We currently have about 3,000 reactors that are producing about 150,000 carats last year. Today, we're producing about 250,000 carats a month inside this facility. Something that we look to strive for sustainability that most people are saying about fossil fuels. We're in the first of 4 phases of solar power systems. A 25 mega kilowatt solar power system is currently is used to produce about 20% to 25% of our production. Therefore, our ultimate goal is to get a more sustainable diamond produced. As we see as in 2030, the millennials and Gen Zs are looking for sustainable products. For these efforts, we've actually have third-party companies that actually give us rating for our sustainability and our ESG to complement our overall goals of carbon neutral. Obviously, we understand it's hard to get to that carbon neutral stage, but we're in the right direction to try to do so as other companies are trying to do in other industries. Vertical integration. As a company as large as ours, with vertical integration helps us build throughout the vertical integration value chain to increase margin and sustain the margin for our customers. Like I said, our growing facility produced last year about 150,000 carats a month, where we're going to be in 2025 up to about 250,000 carats per month. The facility of workers, we have about 5,000 skilled cutters and workers at our facility. That actually in 2025 increased to about 6,000 workers. Designing CAD, obviously with lab-grown diamonds being something new and innovative in the marketplace and being more creative with innovation, we're able to do one-of-a-kind pieces or one-of-a-kind cuts to bring a new look, fresh look to the marketplace. Our growing facility is about 700,000 square feet with a manufacturing facility all in one. We currently hold about 150,000 certified diamonds globally, with 30,000 certified diamonds in the United States to help our customers relate to the fast changing of not having to hold inventory. Again, these are different things that we've done in a disruptive industry to help us position and build value with our customers by integration to helping them with hold stock and inventory, so then they don't have to hold the losses inside their retail locations. Beyond jewelry, I like to bring this up because, like I said, a disruptor in our industry is going to disrupt other industries as well. So why it's good? Why lab-grown diamonds started in jewelry? Because it was a luxury market that was easy to bring investors into the marketplace as they saw value in jewelry, as they do gold and silver, other commodities. The lab-grown diamonds I see with sustainability, increased profit margin, preserved luxury value, and durability. I see as stepping into different markets of fashion, to accessories of accessories, to to other products that people use on a day-to-day basis as a fashion to have perceived value in these products. Such as pens, putting things on as accessing these pens with it actually has perceived value, to shoes, to clothing, to purses. Adding diamonds to this product can actually increase perceived value and margin for retailers. Now, besides the accessories, diamond, jewelry market, the largest market for lab-grown diamonds is going to be an industrial. I like to say that lab-grown diamonds could be the next internet sensation that we see in our lifetime. One factor that I'd like to bring about that happened a couple of years ago was cold fusion. The actual diamond capsule that was used to create cold fusion was only available because of lab-grown diamonds. The capsule, because of the purity of the diamonds of lab-grown diamonds that were put in the capsule, it was able to have heat conductivity to be able to make cold fusion happen. So with the industrial side of the business, from fiber optics to water filtration systems to battery operation with lab-grown diamonds, the sky's going to be the limit, and you're going to see lab-grown diamonds effectively go across different markets, different segments in the coming years to multiple years in the future. And I think the sky's the limit when it comes to the technology that lab-grown diamonds or industries that lab-grown diamonds are going to be a part of. On behalf of me and the Kira family, I'd like to thank everyone for being a part of my presentation. Hopefully, it gave you a little insight on the disruption of the diamond industry and some key factors that may help you in the retail sector to, if disruption does come of the diamond industry, how to grasp, hold, and complement it. in your own industry. Here's just my contact information. If you have any questions, concerns, or would like to learn more, feel free to contact me.
Okay, thank you, Sam. That was fascinating. I had no idea there was some, uh, a lab-grown diamond. I'm from the mining world, and that's what you always thought. But I mean, some of the traction you're getting in that, especially with, let's call it, younger people,
Yeah.
Gen Z and the millennials, from a sustainability mindset standpoint, it makes perfect sense. On that last point you mentioned about cold fusion and industrial, because early on you mentioned GE using the diamonds for like scalpelers and ultrasounds. Is it was the original GE point, was that a lab grown diamond or was that mined?
Yeah, that was lab-grown diamonds.
Was
So
okay.
HPH system, it's called HPHT. It's a high pressure, high temperature. It's an older technology that advancement used. A lot of those diamonds that were used in HPHT in the past, it was used in our jewelry industry as well, but that technology has been around, and a lot was happening with growing diamonds, crushing them for diamond dust, and using them to make things stronger in lower levels of production, meaning microns to millimeter size, such as scapulas, right? You only need a little micron, like a less than 1 millimeter, and you can shape and form it, scapulas into it. Now, with CVD technology, the advancements with carbon vapor deposition, you're able to grow diamonds quicker, higher, meaning millimeter, from 5, 10 millimeter up to 10, 20, 30 millimeters to the side. Now, with this technology, the CVD and the advancements, you're making the diamonds more pure. The purity is better, meaning there's no inclusions in the stones. What happens when there's inclusions in this process, when it conducts heat, that inclusion can happen where it can break. With no inclusions, it can have true transparent heat conductivity through the diamond, making it a valuable source for holding the heat conductivity to make longevity happen. I mean, think about it like for fiber optics, why, or even your cell phone. Why is it so big? Why? Because it's not as big as it is because of the size. They have it in a case because of heat conductivity. Now you could make the phone completely different if you didn't have copper in it. Copper conducts heat. It's the only thing that's the copper holds heat better than most other metals. Now, if you put diamond conductivity inside the phone instead of copper, it doesn't hold the heat where you can actually make it smaller, but also make it faster. Meaning, if you did fiber optic, let's say with the diamonds, what would be the result? Is it 5G? No, it could be 10G, 20G, 30G of technology because you're actually conducting heat faster. Right now, I just read something about Element 6, which is a division of De Beers, partnering with Amazon. What's Amazon's big problem? Is the faster they grow, the more speed and processing of their cloud system gets more energy is produced. Now they're working with the diamond fiber optics to put the microchips with diamonds in there to be able to activate that speed where it doesn't hold heat conductivity, where it can actually make the speed of transactions faster as all that volume of information goes through the cloud system.
Yeah, just fascinating. You mentioned you had the photo and the image of your grown plant there. How much power does that take because you talked about the intensity of the heat and the way the oxygen kind of gets put in at the end. I mean, because you think of we've been reading a lot about in the business world in general, just about data centers and their how they're on the upswing because a lot of the AI now is using all of this power. How about for something like that as you're doing your growing?
Yeah, so that's why the transition is going to the solar power systems is it does hold, and a lot of energy has to be produced to grow a diamond. It's about 10,000 watts per machine to grow. So by organically growing diamonds, a solar power system, it's kind of like biodiversity, kind of. You're taking the sun, focusing it into lab grown diamonds. You're making product that actually can make produce things that can move more smoothly and longer and faster. So it's kind of like a biodiversity of returning the renewable energy back into the earth by not putting fossil fuels back in the earth. So at some point, I'm sure someone will figure out how to do biodiversity and control. There's companies out there right now with lab-grown diamonds that are actually capturing methane in the atmosphere, holding it into a chamber and using that methane for the production of lab-grown diamonds too. So it's a lot of fascinating scientific things happening around lab-grown diamonds out there in the world.
Yeah, but yeah, as you said, most people's experience is the engagement ring, right? So, uh, and so before we got started, I said, well, where's that engagement ring insurance policy? Let me. So I pulled it back out just to look at it from a long time ago. And the things you mentioned, right? The cut, the clarity, the color, the carat weight. So when you started to say that, it's like, oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember asking those questions all those years ago, as it was important on the purchasing side. But if you're going for bigger, better, cheaper, and you're capturing that market that way, certainly on the retail side, and you're getting that kind of quality, it sounds like everybody wins.
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen, like I said, is it's going to it's at a price point where it's more accessible um, to to anybody in the world from income wise, of being able to love the desire of what a diamond stands for, but also it's able to expand in different markets that never could before. Like I said, accessories of accessories. You can wear diamonds. Um, on purses without feeling the uncomfortable of it costing too much. So it actually adds perceived value and look and sparkle to anything that you would like to wear. I mean, a lot of people ice out their watches. I put diamonds around their watches, and it only was at the highest quality of watches. People can put diamonds in watches. They can put it all over. It's about um, the value of having diamonds in the marketplace. And something I like to say of with lab grown diamonds is, if you by purchasing lab grown diamonds, you're actually helping the research and development of a better future, because the next big thing that's going to happen is the industrial side of diamonds.
Yeah.
I read something about, even in concrete, if you put there's companies that are working on patenting technology of putting diamond dust in concrete, because it helps strengthen the quality of the concrete, even to make it more stronger where it doesn't crack. I mean, it's it's going to be all over in different segments for sure.
You mentioned the infighting, if you will, between the lab grown and then the miners. One guy pointing the finger and saying you're synthetic, and the other side coming back and saying, well, conflict minerals, right? Which obviously was from a public company standpoint, the SEC had all of those disclosures that needed to be required as part of that. Do you see there maybe a coming together here in the future, or recognizing? And again, you mentioned the importance of storytelling, right? On where things come from. Do you see those sides coming closer together, or is there always going to be like an impasse?
I see more people becoming more open to lab grown diamonds. And the reason being is they may not like them, but they're listening to their consumers that are coming in that are wanting them. In a lot of retailers, what they're doing now is they're not trying to persuade a customer from one to the other, because you don't know what's their values when they come in. You don't know if it's price, you don't know if it's quality, you don't know if the story of a mined diamond growing 1,000 years ago, or the somewhat sustainability behind lab grown. So I'm seeing more and more people be open about the product and educate, and let the consumer decide which story they want. But again, now it's still a generic story, which we're talking about, which leaves it open for disruption, where um, I feel that the market really needs a shift towards a brand storytelling to the millennials and Gen Zs, because that's the product they're buying. They're basing it off they're going more than just product. They're going on the story, the person behind it, to the values that that company holds, and sustainability. Me being a millennial myself, we care about the earth, we care about the people around us, and we want the brands that we buy to do the same thing. Otherwise, why are we going to buy them?
Right.
So
No, I
that's
mean we've been seeing that in business now for a while. I'm older, so I'm on the boomer side, but as you can, the back end of the boomer side for those trying to count on their fingers, how old is this guy? Uh, but that's it, it's associating with brands, businesses, right? With what recreational type of things on what their value system is, right? And if that's matching, then that story needs to be told. And guess what? We're aging as a population, so as they become the primary consumers. They're the ones in business now. They're the ones, the wealth transfer. I mean, that mindset you would think would then carry forward here in even into the future, as opposed to reverting back to quote unquote the old way of doing things.
yeah. It's not about the old is bad. It's about adapting to the new, of letting the story, like I said, there's still a beautiful story behind a mine diamond growing 1,000 years ago, and Mother Nature creating this fascinating material, or not material, but I guess it really is, or organically grown, and it's kind the rarity behind and the fascination behind it. That's a story itself, but not everybody can afford that story. So lab grown, kind of complements that story of someday, like I said, of a stepping stone where, if I can't afford it today, should I not be able to have something at least? And that's where lab grown diamonds kind of creates that story of having a little bit of, I guess, paradise, if you want to say it's your ultimate goal, to have it today, where it makes you drive you to want something such as Mind Dime in the future. So it's a great stepping stone into Mind, if that's what you want. But then other side of the story, maybe it's more of a fashion forward thinking of having product that you want to change out. Like fast forward. The big thing of fashion fast forward, where it's constantly changing with today's time. Where lab grown diamonds can fit into that capsule of spending less money and changing your style. Yearly, where mine diamonds can't do that. So, the staple piece can be your mine diamond, while your crazy personality can be lab grown. So it can complement each other.
Okay, so enough room for everybody, maybe.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Sam, thank you for joining us here at the We Save Global Retail Conference. Great job. Fascinating conversation. Congratulations on all your success, all the innovation you guys are driving forward, and we wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Glenn, and thank you, WeSave, for having me as well. I forgot to thank them, but thank you for everything. And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me. I'd love to tell a story about, lab-grown diamonds, and hopefully it can help others with if they have disruption of learning from a big disruption in 5 years. Kind of help you tell a story that a better story than what we're having right now in the diamond industry.
All right. Well, stay in touch. Best of luck. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you for having
Have a
me.
good day. Bye.